Nay, adik kami yan na kay yung kami kasi subject na kailangan namon maghanap mga disabled na tao.
Pwede ba ito natin?
Yan sa mga
Like, nagbibidyo niya.
Kasi nga daw.
yan sila
Picture
Ah,
yun.
okay.
special nga po ang
Imod ako?
condition.
Hindi
So
rin.
okay lang na yung mag-interview kami sa iyo about sa personal na yung
Picture sila
condition.
ako sa video.
So, ano na po naman niya ko is nanim ngaran sister, nanim ngaran
Dineros.
Nga mag-concern. Okay, ay. Hindi ka na mag-video namin dito.
Ani na age na
Hindi ko maaari.
Baga
Punta ka mo.
97
Hindi
siya.
kami kagrupo na.
po, ang ngaran mo na eh.
Kuwan. Pag. Ay, lima di ay.
Nag-i-apo siya ba?
Asa na siya, edad siya na nangyari. Pwede ko naman nanay ma-admit ko mga hindi ko may ito sa o bisan niya na lang.
Ano ba rin sa ayaw ba sa kanya?
Hindi ko siya na-exam sabi talaga sa
Pero lang sa kanya, balay lang.
Hindi masagot.
Sister ko lang naman. Barangay din.
so yun na, may kahi pangutaan na about sa personal niya kung ano kasi challenge kasi para sa kanya.
Kuha na siya nagkuha, nakalakaw siya. 4 years na.
Sige, mag-uod mo siya na mayroon ka na agad mo. Mapuri ba? Siya na isang
Isang year ko siya nakalakaw. Nakalakaw siya. Basta mo, palalaba ko na. Makaintindi niya siya, pero ako gusto ko.
experience na siya na sige. Sige, nag-experience na siya na experience na siya po. Or kaya, bigay sa inyo.
Pangayan ba? Or dito sa eskwelahan?
Hindi rin man yun.
Sa eskwelahan.
Pero, pero kung paano, baka siya.
Hindi rin man siya na di ba?
Pero, ali ang mga mangkong bunod, siya ang bunod, dili siya ang bunod.
Nakipagkira talaga siya.
Dili siya.
Salamat na.
Pwede po kami
Pwede po na picture. Oh.
Okay.
Salamat.
Good day everyone, my name is Julian Ignacio, and for confidentiality and to protect the identity of the learner in this case study, we will use the confidential name Miss Inti. So instead of her real name, using a confidential name is a common practice in this case study to maintain privacy and to respect the individual. So, Miss Indi is 29 years old woman from Setio, Caleruhan, Daloperet, Northern Samar. So, she has a grade 2 educational level and is identified as having a speech and language impairment, which affects her ability to communicate verbally. So, according to her family, she started walking around 4 years old, and during her early childhood, she needed close supervision because of developmental difficulties. So, her mother also shared that she did not experience any complications during her pregnancy. So, based on the interview and gathered information, one of the major challenges experienced by Miss Indi is communication. So, since she has difficulty expressing herself through speech, continuing her education become challenging. So despite these challenges, her mother shared that some children were initially afraid of her because they did not fully understand her condition. However, as time passed and they become more familiar with her, they eventually grow close to her because of her caring nature and love for children. So, in my understanding, her condition affects not only communication but also her opportunity for education and social interaction. So, even so, I observe that she continues to show a gentle and positive personality. So, she communicates through gestures, facial expression, and the support of family members who understand her so well. So for this case study, permission was properly asked from the parent or guardian before conducting the interview and gathering information. So all the details are presented and respectfully and appropriately to protect the dignity and privacy of the individual.
Now, let's talk about MD condition affect her development, especially socially. For me, communication is very important in building friendship and relationship. Since MD cannot speak, it becomes difficult for her to join conversation, make friends, or participate in group activities. Sometimes, people misunderstand her silence and think she is shy, rude, or not interested, even if that is not true. Because of this, she may feel left out or left behind, even though she actually wants to connect with others.
On the emotional side, I think her situation can also be very challenging. Image having thoughts and feelings but finding it hard to experience them through words. That can feel frustrating because people do not always understand her needs. MD may experience sadness, anxiety, or low self-confidence. These may be moments when she feels isolated or misunderstood even though she stays strong and positive. This struggle can still affect her emotional well-being.
Based on our case study, there are several barriers Mariel may experience in school. First is limited participation in class. Most classroom activities require students to answer questions, recite, or speak in front of others. Since Mariel cannot speak, showing what she knows become more difficult. Second is social isolation. In school, interaction is important, but because of her condition, classmates may avoid talking to her or misunderstand her. Sadly, this even led to bullying during her elementary years. Third is the lack of support system. Not all schools have enough training or resources to support learners with communication barriers. Teachers may not always know how to adjust activities for students like Maria. Lastly, is academic disengagement. Because school became difficult and uncomfortable for her, she stopped studying when she was only in grade 2. In my opinion, this shows how important support and understanding are in education.
One relevant theory that explains the learner situation is Erik Erikson's psychosocial development theory. So, especially the stage of industry versus inferiority. In this stage, children develop a sense of competence when they successfully participate in school activities and receive positive feedback. However, when they face difficulties in participating, they may develop feelings of inferiority. In Miss MD case, her speech and language impairment affected her ability to communicate in class, limiting her participation in discussions and activities. Even without bullying, this difficulty in verbal communication may reduce her opportunities to demonstrate skills and gain confidence. which can affect her sense of competence compared to her peers.
Propose strategies and interventions. If I were a teacher supporting Mariel, I would try different approaches to make learning easier and more comfortable for her. First, I would allow alternative ways of communication like writing, drawing, gestures, or digital tools because I believe students should not be limited just because they cannot speak. Then second, I would encourage activities that help improve social interaction and confidence, especially activities where students learn to understand non-verbal communication. Then third, I think having an individualized learning plan is important because not every students learn the same way. So, teaching methods should also adjust to their needs. So, for the classroom environment, I would also promote kindness, patience, and inclusion so classmates can better understand and support someone like Mariel.
So, I will include at least one specific or realistic detail that reflects on actual or possible classroom situation. So, I will give an example. Imagine the class is having a group activity about community services. Usually, students ask to share ideas in front of the class. Since Emily cannot speak, this may have been difficult for her. That's why the students bully her. If I were the teacher, instead of requiring everyone to speak, I will allow students to share ideas through written notes, drawing, or demonstration, and they can rewrite her ideas and show them to her groupmates. Also, at the same time, classmates should be able to encourage to understand her gestures and written communication. In this way, MD can still participate, feel included, and show what she was learned.
As future teacher, one important lesson that I learned from this case is that every learner has different needs, abilities, and ways of communicating. So teachers should always practice patience, understanding, and guidance. I realized that learners with speech and language impairment may face challenges in expressing themselves, but that doesn't mean they are less capable or less important than others. This case also taught me that teachers play a big role in helping learners feel accepted and comfortable in school. So by showing support, encouragement, and respect, we can help build their confidence and make them feel included. So as future teacher, I want to create a classroom environment where every learner feels safe, valued, and understood regardless of their condition or differences.
As a future teacher, one important thing I learned from this case is the importance of patience, understanding, and inclusivity in the classroom. Every learner has different needs and abilities, so teachers should create a safe and supported environment with all students feel accepted and valued. I also learned that simple adjustment and encouragement can help learners with mobility difficulties participate confidently and succeed in school.
As a future teacher, one important thing I learned from this case is the importance of the understanding and respect the different backgrounds, cultures, and experience of the student. Every learner is unique, and teachers should create a safe, inclusive, and supportive classroom where all students feel valued and accepted. By showing empathy, patience, and fairness, teachers can help students grow confident and learn better.
As a future teachers, one important thing I learned from this case study is the importance of patience, understanding, and inclusivity in teaching students with disabilities. Mariel's situation shows that communication difficulties should never stop a person from learning and being accepted in school. I also learned that bullying and lack of support system can greatly affect a learner's confidence and education. As a future teacher, we should create a safe and supportive classroom where every student feels valued and respected regardless of their condition. Lastly, Mariel's cheerful personality, despite her struggles, teach us that students have strengths beyond their limitation. A good teacher should focus not only on a learner difficulties, but also their abilities and potential.
As a future teacher, one important thing I learned from this case is the importance of patience, understanding, and inclusivity inside the classroom. Every learner has different needs, and teachers should create a safe environment where students like MD feel accepted and supported. I also learned that communication is not only through speaking because students can express themselves in many other meaningful ways.
As a future teachers, one lesson we learn from this case study is that every learner is different and we should never judge students based on how they communicate. For me, Mariel's story reminds us that just because someone cannot speak does not mean they have nothing to say. She still has ideas, feelings, and abilities that deserve to be valued. We learned that being an inclusive teacher means adjusting our teaching style so every student has a chance to participate and succeed. It also taught us the importance of patience, understanding, and empathy. Most importantly, I realized that communication is not only about speaking because people can communicate in many different ways. And as a future teachers, we should always make sure that no learner feels left behind or unheard.
As a future teacher, one important thing I learned from this case study is that learners with communication difficulties need inclusive and supportive classroom strategies. Even without negative treatment from others, a condition like speech and language impairment can already affect a child's confidence and participation. Therefore, teachers should provide alternative ways for students to express themselves and ensure that every learner is given equal opportunities to succeed and feel confident.